So we had a lot of fun in the last couple of videos changing our perspective to act as the adversary, be the red team, be the penetration tester, but now we are momentarily going to switch back to that builder mindset and tweak and change our Active Directory environment a little bit to explore some new things that we can do, and we're going to have some fun with it. So let's dive in. I'll hop over to my computer screen and we will get to the good stuff. I am going to move out of the Kali Linux VM that I was working in and pivot back over to our management client. What I want to do in this video is actually bring us to create some of those local admin accounts. Local admin accounts on a workstation or on a server could give us, if we determine their credentials with, crack map exec, as we were doing some brute forcing, we could then, using some of the native or inherent Windows protocols, gain access to that machine. And that's super duper powerful. And I want to showcase some of the tools that will let us do that in a quick and easy way, but we need to be able to build that out. So we're going to do that. Sorry, I know I added a little bit more than I needed to for the explanation there. But in our management VM, I'm going to log into my local admin account, and I want to show how we can modify our PowerShell script that we've been using to generate our Active Directory environment and go ahead and add a domain user to a local admin group on a machine. Now, I am probably going to end up setting this up in, honestly, I'll run my terminal as an administrator here. I want to test this for the moment on our domain controller and then probably blow away the Active Directory environment that we have just so far. We had a lot of fun creating a big 100 user domain so we could explore it within Bloodhound, but now I kind of want to scale that down and get a better idea for what we've been up to. So let's go ahead and mess with our script. I know we can use a code or Visual Studio Code to be able to explore our PowerShell, and I want to be able to change and add a new function or add a new property to our schema. I'll actually open that one up just as well. We'll modify our AD schema. While we were able to generate this big thing previously, I think we actually did we have an out? Yeah, for a randomly generated one. Let's change our random generator or random domain to change the number of groups that we might use to let's go real tiny, because honestly I just want to explore these different ideas first before we start messing around. Let's use one group and let's use 8 users. Is that okay with you? You guys don't mind? We should probably make those arguments, by the way. Can we do that? Can I add a parameter? And I always mess these up. So param. Let's Google. Let's already do some Googling and learn together. PowerShell optional parameter. Yeah, how about that? We were doing this with a switch, weren't we? But that was for a Boolean. I want to get a specific, optional one. Positional parameter doesn't have to be there. What is this? Non-positional optional arguments. There we go. Let's take a look. Is this the exact same Stack Overflow page that I was on previously? I think it might be. How can I set a default argument? Can I set a default argument? Is there a default argument? Default value. Yeah. Default. Oh, wait. All are optional? And by default, all parameters are optional. Okay. So we could just check if it's empty. Is that fair to do? I mean, yeah, maybe. Or did we change this in a previous one? Maybe our gen AD is the one. Yeah, that's the thing that did it previously. We might be able to do that just as well. Undo is not needed anymore, but I do want to use an integer. Num users, or how about user count? Is that fine? And then group count. And we can check if group count is equal to. Ooh, what is the default going to be for an integer? Let's learn together. we could go and echo what that group count might be. Or just honestly echo the group count right away. And then let's exit and not run this script, because I want to be able to randomly generate that as I'd like. So random domain. Oh, it needs a JSON file. Oh, shoot. Out.json. I don't want to clobber that just yet. Let's use new.json. And it's 0 by default. Okay, can I specify user count can be like 10? Oh, we were checking group count. So let's use group count. Whoop. 1. Perfect, it's 1. Okay. So if group count is equal to 0, then let's set group count equal to 1. And will that fill in for me? So let's not specify group count, and then we set it to 1. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Probably dumb, probably bad, but, you know, that works. And I'm not going to complain. If you're not going to complain, are you good with that? Is everyone good with that? If user count is equal to 0, then we'll do user count can equal, like, 5. Yeah? Good by me? Good by me. Sweet. So now we have those parameterized, and we can actually change our num groups to be... Do we use that in any other places? I don't think we do. No, that's it. So we'll change that variable to group count, and then we can do the same thing for user count when we generate our random users. Perfect. Good by me. And now we will go ahead and determine whether or not we'll have a random local admin in a couple of these. Is that fair? I want to be able so that we can tweak our Active Directory and say like, oh, local admin, if we had another key value there, can be something like true, right? Or if it's not there, it is false by default. Yeah? So I want to be able to specify a random number of local admins just as well. Let's do that. And we'll say local admin count. And we won't add a default for those. We'll make a comment here. Default user count is set to 5, if not set. We can do the same thing for groups, just to comment our code. So we can say if not, is there a way we can do that? I think it's FNE. If local admin count is not equal to 0, then we can specify a random assortment of numbers present in the group count. Is that fair? Does that kind of make sense? So what I want to do, and I realize this might be weird, we need to be able to determine that there is a unique number of local admin accounts. And I want 3 random ones across a spread of our random users. Maybe we don't need to deal with that. Or maybe we do. Let's explore together and make some mistakes. We're going to have some fun. So I think we can create an array in PowerShell by creating a thing just like this. Right? So I can echo that array. And can I add to that array like a plus equals... another? How about that? Now, if I echo array, we have this and another, and we have added to that. And we just previously did an if in, did we not? I feel like we checked if something was in a list. Or maybe I had some other mistakes and flops in that. Anyway, if our local account is not equal to 0, then what we can do is we can grab a random number. And is there a way to do that based off of a range? Let's do PowerShell random number. Between 1 and 10 is totally fine. In range. How about that? Get random number within a range. Why is that giving me like ASCII values? get random gives you a random number. Ooh, just minimum and maximum. Okay, super duper easy. So if it's not equal to 0, then we will go ahead and loop through. I just want to grab a for loop, honestly. For I can equal 0, while I is less than our number of users that's provided, let's go ahead and increment. And sorry, we want to do that for every. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. For our number of local admins, let's say we wanted 3 random local admins. So let's generate a random number within the numeric indexes of the users that we create. This is probably super confusing, and I'm super sorry. Bear with me. I promise we'll get there. I want to be able to set local admin indexes to be that empty list, right? So we can go ahead and specify, look, let's grab a random index can equal get random based off of the minimum being 0 and the maximum being the number of users that we're providing. And then we'll go ahead and actually add that to, I think that needs to be a list, right? Our list of random indexes. Does that make any sense? What I'm doing is trying to specify, say I gave it, I'll go back to the terminal and maybe we can see this. If I generated a random domain with 10 users, right now there are no local admins because we have not provided that, and by default it's 0. So if I were to specify, all right, cool, I want 10 users, but I also want 2 users that happen to be local administrators, whatever the 6th generated account is an admin, and whatever the 4th user account is also an admin. We can do that for 3 of them. We can do that for 4 of them. But we might run into the issue where, whoops, we have a actual duplicate here. If we see a duplicate, well, we've accidentally created a local admin twice, and it's not adding that same count that we want. So we could probably track that. Is there a way to check if in? I know I've done this. If in list. Oh, or we did some gross thing where you have to like loop through every single one of them, don't we? And that's awful. Maybe we could use, with the get random being an input object, can we get random? Can you specify like a inline list in PowerShell or like inline range? Like I want to do the count 1, 2, inline range. No, they do it with a gross. They can. You can do it. You can do it just like that. Does that work? You like use parentheses and say 1 to 10. Nice. But we want to be able to subtract pieces of that. Can I subtract out like 3 to 7? Nah, that's weird. It doesn't know what it's doing. How can we remove duplicates? There's no easy if-in syntax in PowerShell. Is there? If item in array. Several options. Ooh! Data where object remove list not contains that? That might be a good setup. So we're grabbing if it doesn't contain it. So the things that we want to remove from it. Yeah? How about, can I do that as I was just playing in the command line? Can I do a where object, given that it was, okay. 3 to 7 is not contained in the element there. Yeah? Okay, cool. So now we've removed 3 to 7. So we can remove that just fine. And we should honestly create like a created list. So created admins can equal 0. And let's do, does PowerShell have a while loop? I just want to make sure. I want to be able to create and count up a number. It does have a while loop. It totally has a while loop. Get out of here, ads. Da, 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 da. Click. Yeah, so just while. We could also just check the count of our local admin indexes in all reality. Is that fair? Rather than doing that all the time, I think we'll have to do, let's do a 1 to 3 list, and then we can do a measure object count, or select count. We probably need a dot count. So we just retrieve that value. There we go. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm awful. What I want to do is if we are supplying local admins, we can create a local admin index, and we can do while that local admin index's measure object to get the length of that list. Whoop, nested parentheses dot count is less than LT. Yep. The local admin count that we want, we'll continue to grab a random index. Now, we will only add that given we'll use an input object. So we're not using the min and max anymore, but we're going to use the input object of the range from 0 to user count, where object, you could use where if you really wanted to, but we're going to subtract out the user indexes or the local admin indexes that we've already added to it and generated. So that we will consistently get unique ones, and we'll always get the correct number that we need, that we specify as our local admin count. We'll use where local admin indexes not contains in that list. Yeah? Does that make any remote sense? Let's test that. We've created that loop and that stupid weird logic, and now let's echo that out and see if we can get that to be displayed. So we need a random domain with a new JSON file in their output, and I am missing a statement body in the while loop. Oh, because I forgot to add my curly brace here and actually close that while loop. Perfect, I think. Ooh, so remember we need a user count of, how about 10? That's just fine. And we'll specify our local admin count to be 3. Cool. 3 again. Ooh, we're using up to this though. So we should probably do user count -1. Is that fair? Can we do that? Let's find out. Oh, no, it broke it real bad. Can I add parentheses in there? So I want that to be exclusive for that very last number 10. There we go. Okay, that works just fine. So now we consistently get 3 local admin account passwords, or local accounts, all unique. We could amp that up to like 8, and we will, again, always have unique local admins. Random order, random thing, but it works. Even for all user accounts created, we now have that random order of random admins. I probably made that a heck of a lot more complicated than I need to, but maybe you got some fun PowerShell chops out of that. And we spent 20 minutes doing that. So what we could do is check. Can I also use that for like as our own in statement? What we want to do as we generate a new user, we can check if the index is in the local admin indexes. And if it is, we'll go ahead and add to our new user, right? Can I do that? What I'll do is check if the current I, let's check if we can use that as an in. Can we do 1 to 10 as our list? And let's do a where this thing is equal to this thing. Okay, that's where we retrieve it. How about like 12? Okay, that returns nothing. Is there a way I can test if something is returned? Is it just a matter of if this, oh, sorry, my face is in the way, echo found. So that did not find it because 12 is not in that list, but 1 is. Okay, so that's how we could kind of basically have a poor man's if-in statement. So we can check if I is in our list of admin indexes. If local admin indexes, that's what we call the variable, right? Yep. Where you can use that alias shorthand. If I, or if that thing equals I, then we know this is going to be a local admin. We can just echo that out as a test. User tac I is local admin. Is that fair? We're just troubleshooting. We're just debugging. And what we could do is, I think, now set our user, our new user, local admin, to equal true. True. With the $, because we're in PowerShell. Yeah? Yeah. Let's see it. Let's generate a random domain with, let's give it 3 local admins. And oops, we made a mistake because it is null. What? Outfile output JSON. Oh, we need to pass that. That should be a positional argument. We should fix that. Parameter not be found that matches parameter name output JSON. I literally just passed that to you. Hello? Hello. That should be JSON file. I should know my own source code. Cannot bind argument to parameter file path because it is null. What do you mean? Oh, output JSON file. Oh, shoot. It should have been output JSON file. We just accidentally clobbered it when I copied and pasted from GenAD. So it was broken all along, and I just didn't realize. Okay. Now that should be fixed. And I don't think I need to pass that. There we go. So user 8 is local admin. User 5, 9, 2. Oh, did we miss one? That didn't generate. 3. I want to see that edge case again. Or did I just... Oh, no. Okay, so now it's only created 5 and 9. Why? Did we add to it and not do it correctly? If I check out what my new.json is, we have local admin being true for our 5th created user, and our 9th created user, local admin, is true. What happened to our other? We specified I wanted 3. Is my logic broken somewhere? Probably totally. While local admin indexes is less than local admin. It should be equal to. No, because when this runs, we want to add something to it. So adding at an equals would still give us 1 more. We'd have an offset error, or like an off by 1 thing. But our user count, we do I equals 0 up to group count every single time. Where's my mishap? 0 to user count minus 1, where local admin indexes does not contain that. local admin indexes equals nothing at first, and then we add to it. But when we add to it in random index, adding, let's add the random index. Let's display that random index to local admin interfaces. We don't need to display the variable there. It might be good. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I realize I'm spending way too much time on this, but that's the fun part. And we get to play with some PowerShell. Ooh, what happened? Index 0 is not being added. It's when 0 is. Why? So we added 0 to our local admin indexes, but then user 6 and user 7 is being set. User 0 is never being set. If local admin indexes, where this thing is equal to I, but we literally have I being set to 0. Do we not? We don't increment that until the end of the loop. I am weirded out. Should we be using it as 1? Maybe if I change our logic to 1 and less than or equal to, well, no, that works because then we still get the same value. And we can do that from 1 to user count, correct? I think. Let's see if I break anything. Let's see if that breaks stuff. What? That added the correct numbers. That worked. Okay, and now we're missing when it's the same. It does not add it. 4, 5, 5, 6, 9, and 4, 5, 8. Now we are consistently getting the specified 3 local admins, and it's not being weird. So maybe my 1 base cases were weird? Whatever. We have finally gotten that logic correct, seemingly. 3, 7, 10 are always being set. And when we review this, local admin is true, local admin is true, local admin is true. Perfect. Now, in our AD schema, we need to actually create the local admin with that set. Correct? So our gen AD script, when we go ahead and create an AD user, can we index a thing that doesn't exist? Let's create an object. Let's say object can equal a thing can be set to John. Yeah? So obviously object thing gives me a value, but thing does not. So we can check if that returns something, and that will let us know, okay, do we need to actually set the value? If local admin is present as a key, then go ahead and create it as a local admin. Yeah, that works. I think that works for us. That's good. Okay, so in our create AD user function now inside of our gen AD script, rather than our random domain, we can go ahead after we've added these to a local group inside of the Active Directory groups, if our user object is a local admin, and that has been set in the JSON, what we can do is use PowerShell to add local group member. And I believe, let me look at the syntax for that because I just want to verify. Add local group member PowerShell. We need tag group, and then we need tag member. So group can be administrators, which is going to be a local group. Keep in mind, not the admin, not the domain admins group. And member should be our domain with a prefix to the name. We know that we are keeping track of the domain, correct? We are we not? Yes, global domain is set way up here. So can we retrieve that? Do we use that elsewhere? We do. So after we created it, we can then go ahead and say global domain with a backslash, and then our username is what we want there. Correct? I think that works. Okay. Let's test that before we fire this thing off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to my domain controller, and I actually want to test this with our local machine before we, one of our local accounts, before we go ahead and redestroy and create whatever, completely blow up our environment to test this again. We have net user domain, all these accounts created for us, and Abigail Brown, our good friend, is not a local administrator. We can check that with local group administrator, just using old school commandlets, right? Administrators. So the only local group admins right now are our actual administrator for this machine. But if I were to use that PowerShell command, add local group member, group administrators, and then member xyz.com/abrown, group administrator was not found because it should be administrators with an S. I'm an idiot. Group administrators was not found. Excuse me? I don't understand. Administrators? I am using the correct syntax there, am I not? Administrators. Hello? Let's literally grab that syntax. Add local group member, group administrators, member, xyz.com, A Brown. Did I typo something? No. Okay, let's not use the PowerShell commandlet, and let's go back to being our old school net local group administrators xyz.com/A Brown. Add. Command completed successfully. And we now see A Brown, our domain user, has been added to the local admins group. So we'll use that syntax instead. Is that okay? You guys don't mind? Switch up our code to fix that. GenAD will use the boring, basic net local group administrators global domain username add to local admin as needed. Cool. I think that sounds good. Does that sound good to you? Let's experiment and validate that we now have our new JSON file with local admins created. And what I'm going to do is connect to our domain controller. So let's get a credential so we can go ahead and connect to this thing. We want xyz.com administrator with our domain admin password. That looks good. And now we can new PS. Well, I want to be able to grab a PS session because we need to be able to copy files back and forth. So new PS session 192.168. Whoop, typo. 155 with our credential cred. And let's save that as DC as usual. Okay, so now I can enter that PS session. And now we are logged in on the domain controller. So I don't know if you remember, but our files for the last build creating this directory environment were in C Windows tasks, correct? So can I gen AD with output, but also pass my undo argument where we were just removing all that stuff? Looks like it clobbers it. And now get AD, was it user? I think that works. Yeah. Filter can be just asterisk, just give me everything. And all we have are the administrator, Kerberos ticket, granting ticket, and the guest. So we have clobbered all of our users. We have removed them. Same thing with groups. All we have are the default, and we do no longer have the previously created ones. So now let's bounce out of here and let's copy over our new.json to session DC, C Windows tasks. I think, will that work? Oh, copy item, sorry. And that works. And now let's replace the gen AD script because we have just made that better. Now when I enter that session again, cool. I now have my new.json and we can cat that out to verify that we do have local admins present. And we can actually cat out our AD or generate AD script. And we know that we will actually add our local admins as needed. So moment of truth, let's test this. Let's generate an Active Directory environment with our new JSON file with a user count of 8, yeah? And let's do local admin count of 3. Does that work? What? Did we not? What? Oh. Yeah, we don't need to do that because we passed those for our generator, for our randomness generator. Gen AD will just take it all from the new JSON schema. So it should build these all out properly. Before I do this, let's take a look at the administrators groups. Currently nothing in here, but fingers crossed, can I generate all of the users that are present in new.json and create the local admin accounts? Nice. No errors. Okay, cool. Now let's check out our administrators. Oh, no. Okay, so we muffed up somewhere. We have made a mistake. Do we have users? We do. We have Cameron Smith. He's a user. Andrew Walker. They're all users. Why did our script not run? Gen AD included. If our user object, local admin, that's true. Does this command work for us? Or is this, we should probably echo, it should have said that command completed, but let's echo username to just to display this. Local admin equals, and then we can see if we actually get that retrieved for us. Yeah? Might be kind of weird, but that command should have ran because we want to be able to add xyz.com, or really just xyz, it doesn't matter. And we had what? Cameron Smith, so C Smith. That command would run. And then C Smith is there. Okay. So let's generate AD, undo everything. Is my administrator C Smith gone? He is. Perfect. Let's copy over our Gen AD to the session. Let's get back to our session. Let's cat out our GenAD, and it will echo this out. We should be able to see this. If he is present, if the user object contains a local admin key, add it. Why did that not work? Let's GenAD on our new.json. It literally works. Why is it not indexing? Why did it not index? Does it need to... Why did that not work? Here. Let's create that locally. Let's say C Smith can equal, or I guess how about user group? User object was the name of it, right? And that needs, oh gosh. Can you figure this out, please? Does it need those? Does it need semicolons? I think it might. Yeah, okay, so now we have our user object. So user object index.local admin is true. Oh, okay, so that echo string is probably making it weird. But the if statement shouldn't. What? Can we just say is equal to true? Is that what we need? Maybe it just needs to be explicit like we hadn't been doing it earlier, but this worked. Up if that user object, and then we echo found. That works. Does it just not in a script for whatever reason? Copy file, copy item, GenAD, bring it over there. Let's enter our session again. So we're bringing the files back and forth. Let's GenAD new.json, undo everything. Task completed successfully, task completed successfully. Now let's run it, rebuild. C Smith local admin equals empty. I'm so confused. I'm sure you are screaming at the screen. What is John doing? Why the what am I getting wrong? Can I index it? Like, oh no. Can I index it with the dot rather than the, is that how it's done? Does it need to be indexed with the dot? Maybe. Oh no, maybe. Let's undo. Let's exit. Copy the item over, enter the session again, run it, go, go, go. Yes! It needed to be with the dot. Command completed successfully. I'm an idiot. So now we have all of the users that we've generated, and now we can actually check out local group administrators. And now we have C. Smith, K. Allen, and S. Sutherland as local administrators on the domain controller. However, we have made one blunder all along the way, and you probably spotted it from the very, very beginning, but we have just strictly created, and let me talk about this. We have just only created local admins on the domain controller. They are not local admins on the workstation or any other workstation machines that we might create. If we want to do a little bit more shenanigans to be able to make it a local admin for a specific or unique set of machines, we'll have to do a little bit more scripting. But I think this video is probably cutting it close to, hey, the end, because I've been running against the wall for way too long and I'm pulling my hair out. So let me validate and showcase that we are in fact a local admin, but we can continue, if that's all right with you, in the next video on making it local admin across the machines that we know we want to actually have local admin privileges on. Is that okay? Cool. Sweet. I'm glad you're cool with it. I'm just saying that you are at this point, whether you are or you aren't. Let's say now I am I'm curious, can we actually log in as a local admin to validate that on the domain controller? I don't know if we can, because it's not like it's, hey, we firing up a machine or starting like a GUI to create an application, like startup command prompt as an administrator, right? Like we would in our management or workstation. Like when we type in, terminal, and then right click run as administrator, we're borrowing the admin's privileges because we're in the local admin group and we can do that. I don't know how readily that will work for our domain controller because we just have the command line structure. So I think we might just have to call it a wrap here and there. But we have created a new domain for us, a new environment, and we'll keep messing with it and playing with it. I'm going to remove my new.json and my out.json. Oh, did that not like something? What was that? What did you not like? Just delete the files. Just delete both of them. You idiot. Anyway, our random domain script has now added support for randomly generating local admin accounts across the users that we create. Our gen.ad script will now go ahead and actually generate them appropriately. It still has some goof errors, like we don't need to, okay, VM? Okay, sweet, you're good. We don't need to echo that out. We don't need to really, hey, display that out on the screen, but we can maybe remove all the output later if we want to, or we can make that smarter and better. For the moment, we have added the support that we needed to, and this video is over, man. I've been talking for way too long. Let's go ahead and push these changes. I've been kind of bad about that previously. Let's get add code. And I don't think I did, honestly, push what we've been using with the hacks over on the Kali Linux side, so I should do that just as well if you haven't. Updated Active Directory generator code to create local admin accounts on the domain controller. We need to be able to push those properly to all the other hosts in some weird, wacky ways that we can do later. But let's git push and call that done. Also going to do that for our Kali Linux side because I haven't pushed those hacks we've been working on. So Active Directory, git add hacks. And let's do the very, very same. Oh, goodness. You guys don't need to see this. I'll call it a day, and we will just wrap this video up. I'll do this off screen. Hey, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm sorry that this, is me playing with PowerShell, just rapid Googling, trying to learn on my feed and see what we can understand to get the syntax right, bumping into walls and experimenting, but that's what this is all about. We are going to continue to keep building out our environment generator, and that way we can keep playing and understanding how we can construct this as well as break and hack and do all that cool fun stuff against it. I hope you're having fun with that. If you are, please do all the YouTube algorithm things. If you could like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, everything that helps the channel grow. It also helps me know that you're really enjoying this series, and I hope I can do more of it. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks so much for hanging with me, but I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Take care. Bye now.